and welcome once again to your Temper Report with me, guest presenter Jim Dowson. Seems a bit dark, doesn't it? Strange. It was all too light last week. Do you remember? It was all too light. It was all too shiny and like soft phase. It was like Falcon Crest from the 1980s or something, wasn't it? But now I'm very sharp but dark. I don't know why, because I've got all my lights on. I could turn a little bit, make any difference with it. I don't know. Let's have a look. Maybe. I don't know if that's made any difference or no. Anyway, burning the eyes at me now, so we'll crack on. Right, who's in the room here? Ewan Eggerstrom, God bless you. Hold on. Roger Madison, how you doing? Howdy. I seen your thing about amillennialism, premillennialism, postmillennialism. They're all valid points to hold, you know. Well, certainly in reform circles anyway. Personally, I'm an amillennial. I think Jada is postmillennial. A lot of folk are premillennial. Then you've got premillennial tribulation. Oh my goodness, it gets confusing. I wouldn't worry about it. It's all these things. I tell Christians, don't worry about the end times. You'll know about it. You'll not miss it. Good day, Nick. How you doing, Andy Lightman? How you doing? Troy, Florida. Ewan Eggerstrom's there. Yes, there's a wee link to the annual report. We've got them. I had one here a minute ago. There we go. I had one. I don't know where it is. Don't know. Anyway, get them, because there's no point in printing them if you don't get them. Sir Keegan Rushmore, how you doing, brother? Kit Bear, nice to see you again. Kit, I haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see you, my friend. Lady Matra, my dear sister, how you doing? Anthony H, how you doing as well? Okay, I remember there's a couple of links there. Get the annual report. I did have one. No idea where it's went, but Mary, have you got an annual report lying about here anywhere? If you've got one, I wouldn't mind it to wave about in a general menacing manner. Don't know where we are. Anyway, there we are. We've got some stuff as well. We're Generation X. Yes. That's us. Right, we word of scripture. Hear ye the Lord. Psalm 117. I'm reading actually from this Scottish Psalter. Very good wee book. You don't get them anymore. The Psalter, revised edition, Scottish metrical version of the Psalms and additional Psalm verses, the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church in Ireland. Yes. So in the old days, we used to sing Psalms, paraphrases and hymns, and that was it. And that was all we done. So this is Psalm 117. Hear ye the Lord. All ye nations of the earth, give praise unto the Lord. And all ye people magnify his name with one accord. For great towards us ever are his loving kindness. His truth endures forevermore. The Lord will do ye bless. Amen. And we know the Lord will bless the public reading of his inspired and inerrant word. And the people of God said, amen and amen indeed. Yes. I'm still trying to get used to this phone. I've got a new phone now. Look, it's one of these modern fancy. It's still a Doro for old people, but it's a kind of smartphone. I'm still getting used to it. So there you go. But some people do insist on sending me ridiculous amounts of videos and films and all that, saying, have you seen this? Have you seen this? There's very little I don't see. I do this full time. So there we are. Amen. So what's happening today? Well, we've got some interesting things to look at, because there's a film out at the moment, and it's called, I believe it's called Citizen Vigilante. Have you heard of it? Any's heard of that? I'll give you a minute to reply. Has any's heard of this Citizen Vigilante? Elon Musk has pushed it. Tommy Robinson's pushed it. That dodgy Polish MP, who's a real mad Zionist, he's pushing it. Basically, the entire Zionist world, the Twitterati is pushing it. So therefore, you've got to think to yourself, what's this about? Yeah. You've all heard it? Kit Bear says, watched it yesterday. Watched the whole thing. Yep. Everybody's seen it. So a lot of people have seen it. Yep. Please check the resolution, Jim. What's up with the resolution? Give me a hint. What's wrong with it? I can see myself like in really. This is like crystal clear, although it's a bit dark. What's wrong with it? Yes, that's the 9 counties flag. It is. Yes, my grandparents are from Cavan. What's wrong with the resolution, Ewan? Let me know what's wrong with the resolution, because it looks all right here. Don't know. Not full screen. It's not full screen, really? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that you mean? I thought you meant resolution as in colour. No. Wait a minute. We'll see if we can get a full screen. Is that it? Oh. Is that it? Is that better? Did that happen? Is that better? It's no better for me now because I can't see anything. I can't see what I'm supposed to be looking at. Oh my goodness, we shouldn't have done that. Oh, no. This isn't good now. Oh no. Oh, right. Well, I can't see when I'm live, when I'm no live now because I've no idea how to get this turned back. Oh dear. I don't know what I've done. Oh dear. Maybe that. I'm back to where I was. That's much better. I couldn't see nothing. The ratio accent, I don't know what that means. He's a talking different language. I don't know what any of these mean. Can you see me? If you can see me, it's enough already. A border issue? I don't understand it. Why I'm not full screen. I should be, but I don't know. I don't understand it. Anyway, we'll just have to get on with it because I don't know how to push this out. I really don't know how to do it. I am leaving that alone because I don't know how to fix it. What's that? No, I don't know how to fix it. So we'll just have to leave it. Okay, so let me see now. Yes, this film, it's been out that everybody's talking about, and it's been pushed mercilessly. You've no doubt seen it. Citizen Vigilante. So it's quite an interesting thing. Here's a wee clip from it. Okay.
What was it? Traumatic integration?
We're all getting mental help now and support. We will be better in the future. I promise that.
It's the right answer. The only problem is that on your social media, since the event, I have not seen any regret or empathy. In fact, I think you said that she deserved to be raped.
What I mean is that they dress wrong and just make boys horny with their mini skirts. They show their legs and breasts.
You wrote that she deserved it.
I will delete it.
Are these the values you're teaching your children?
I teach him the values from Quran and these values from our family.
Well, if these are your values, that women in America and Europe deserve to be raped because of a dress code, why did you come here?
You know that we have several war in our country and we have a dangerous life. That's why we are here. And I think you know that.
Do you know what I think?
Why?
I don't think it was the good ones that got out of your country. I think it was the bad ones. And I think you brought with you your archaic value system and your commitment.
Well, there's an interesting thing. So he thinks that people being annoyed that women are walking about with miniskirts and everything hanging out is archaic values. Now, do people deserve to be raped? Of course not. However, let me qualify that. If I walked up the other end of Belfast with a Protestant symbol on, like a Glasgow Rangers shirt, I wouldn't get out alive. I'd be dead, and the same would happen to them. So if women don't want men leering at them and looking at them and maybe even touching them, put some clothes on, dear. You know, you look, a shop puts all its goods out, doesn't it? In display. You don't have apples and oranges behind screens. You know, they're all there. You can see them. They're not wrapped up. They're not in a box. What's in there? The box is marked oranges. No. The oranges are lying out for you to go and touch and feel and buy, whatever. It's the same with flesh. So I'm with the Muslims on this. You should not, I don't believe you should be raping people, but you should not be putting your goods on display if they ain't for sale. Don't do it. But you see that film there? Now, I already know about this film because I've looked into who's behind it. And that guy, the actor, is a grandson of Armand Hammer, who was one of the main financiers of the Bolsheviks, the Jewish leaders of the Russian Revolution. Yeah, multi-billionaire American. And that's who his family are. That's who his family is. Incredible, isn't it? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So this film has been pushed by every Zionist online. So therefore, what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Things like that. Saying the Muslims are bad because they want women to wear clothes. And how many times have you seen memes on X or Facebook where girls walking down the street with tiny mini skirts, they're gusset, their pants are showing, they're going, this is freedom, this is the West. If you don't like it, go back to your own country. I don't like it, and I'm in my own country. And I would personally lock them up. I'll tell you a story. I was in America many years ago doing street preaching in a town called Madison, Wisconsin. Don't know if anybody's know. It's a big university town. A lot of young ones there. And I was there for all day in the town, town square thing, preaching away the gospel with some other American Christians. And the amount of times the police jumped out and grabbed young women and just told them, home, put some clothes on. Unbelievable. And then a young guy came down, he took his top off, he was bare-chested, walking down the street, cops grabbed him, put some clothes on. You know, we used to be like this. It's not liberating. It's not freedom. It's not the values of Western democracy to run about half naked. It is not on. But you can see that's the message they're pumping into you there. So therefore, if you're a British or American patriot, you must defend women being naked against these archaic Muslims who want women to cover up. Let me tell you something. This book here tells women to dress modestly. This book, our book, not a Muslim book, our book. So you can see that's just one thing. I haven't watched it all. That's just one thing that we see there. But who is this guy? This guy here's got a wee opinion on it. So I think we should have a wee look at this guy. Have a listen to what this guy says. He's not Christian. He's not right wing. He's just a talking head on different things. But he's got the gist there. Have a look.
The movie Citizen Vigilante is being pushed really hard right now. Elon Musk himself posted this. This is the richest man in the world with a net worth of $1 trillion posting on his social media platform. Something that got 21 million views. The original creators posted it. It got 8.5 million views. A bunch of people are clipping it and talking about it. Obviously, really organic. It was made by Quiver Distribution, founded by Barry Meyerowitz and Jeff Sackman. There's some photos of them. Armie Hammer himself is half Jewish. His dad is Jewish, though. His mom is not. Usually, you kind of have to have a Jewish mom. His dad is involved in an organization called Jews for Jesus, exactly what it sounds like. Armie Hammer has rape accusations. He was accused of being a cannibal. I don't believe accusations just based upon accusations, but it's worth bringing up. Now, Armie Hammer in the movie is Jewish. In real life, he's also Jewish. He has an Aleph tattoo, which is like the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. You can see it in a scene where he's taking his shirt off to fuck a South Asian prostitute. Classy stuff. They didn't have to put that in the movie, but they also didn't have to put a 10-minute scene of just cops talking as they drove around. So the hero who's killing migrants and is super based or whatever,
I teach him the values from Quran and these values from our family,
is a rich Jewish asshole who is like firing his workers for being too old and like kills some random dude to make a point. And he's also like really autistic about black mold. I'm not doing this to hate. Maybe you can feel the catharsis. Maybe there's some good aspects to the movie. That being said, it's not perfect, you know, but it is free. You can go and watch it for free. So watch it, don't watch it. I don't care. I'm not telling you that it's horrible. I am just curious, of course, that it's just spontaneously being pushed to tens of millions of people on major social media platforms, and they're trying to make it seem like it was banned, and maybe it was. But those countries didn't have to ban it, because I don't think people would have watched it anyways.
I think it may have been banned in Germany. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's amazing how it's been pushed. Absolutely amazing, and being streamed by that. I've seen that. Nick, you'll know who that is. That dodgy Polish MP. He's meant to be right wing. He's total Zionist shill. He's broadcast it in its full length. So is Elon Musk. So is Tommy Robinson. There you go. You know, it's just constantly. Yeah. The sex scene, Kip Bear says the sex scene was completely unnecessary. Not when Jews are. You've seen who the production company had. No, that's what they're into. It's a corrupting thing, isn't it? It's a corrupting thing. Yep. Roger Madison says here, yes, in Cocoa Beach, younger women are regularly seen wearing string thongs, bikini from the back. They might as well be completely naked. I know, I've seen it. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's disgusting. It's crazy stuff. Now, Nick's going to cover this tomorrow, far more in-depth than me. You know me, I'm shotgun approach. Nick goes into a deep dive in it. But something stinks about this. Something really stinks. Here's another wee bit, just to give you a kind of a warm-up for Nick tomorrow about this wretched thing.
But on the other hand, it's also the country need to free themselves from the Hamas. You know, like if the terrorists like live upon you in your house, in your basement, they're hiding in schools, they hide.
Sorry, a bit. He talks 10 to a dozen, this guy. This is the director, okay? This is the director. And he is a mad apologist for the Zionist IDF and Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu and all the rest of it. Listen to this guy. I mean, this doesn't speed it up. This guy's rabbiting like a maniac. Maybe he's coked out his mind. Maybe he's Tommy Robinson's mate. I don't know.
But on the other hand, it's also the country need to free themselves from the Hamas. You know, like if the terrorists like live upon you in your house, in your basement, they're hiding in schools, they're hiding in hospitals and everywhere. I think that is ridiculous that then the normal population, they should basically give them up. They should raid on them. You know, they should say, look, in my basement are terrorists so that they don't have to go in every house in the Gaza if they do a land invasion, how it looks like that they will do this now. So, but I think they have also this kind of indirect passive support. You know, they don't want really that what the Israelis are doing to them now. They don't want that. That is, of course. But they also, in a way, are kind of happy if some Israelis die. And they're kind of happy if these attacks worked out and they killed 1,400 Israelis. That is this kind of like where they support this kind of actions, you know. And we, as I said, since 40 years, there's so many situations where attacks were all like this rackets getting shot and shot and shot endlessly. That happened over and over again. And then at one point, Israel is just like bombing 5 houses to the ground as a retaliation. So I don't know how this changes, but it's definitely also about like school building. You know, like this kind of like when you learn something about history, you learn or you in a school and you learn about the world. That makes it less and less normal, I think, for people with more school education to run around and shoot babies in the head. You know, or people like they rape people and kill them. I think that is just that is like animals, you know, it's like totally unacceptable what they did this time to that Israel, to that party stuff, people, the party crowds there and so on. I mean, it's absolutely, I don't even know how you can do this, you know, and when now a lot of people writing worldwide, they're writing, but Israel is doing the same, whatever. No, they're not, right? It's a totally different thing. If you bomb a house, it's my dog like barking a little. So I have 2 dogs here, a little one who's barking. But yeah, stop it, come here. So it's this kind of, I think the Israelis are not like, just killing innocent people because they love to do this, or raping themselves, people in Gaza or something. I see that a huge difference, right? So they are just getting out there for revenge and for their own security. So, and that is a huge difference to what we saw also with the IS, you know, like when in Iraq and everywhere where the Islamic State like chopped the head off people and stuff like this. I think that is just almost unbelievable how they can even do this. You know, so you can do that only if you think your opponent or the other person is not a human anymore. It's just like a chicken you can butcher or something, you know. It's like it needs a total mindset and emotional change of your view of this kind of Jews, for example, right? So that you don't see them as humans anymore. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, there we are, back again. Did you listen to what he said there? Did you listen to what he said there? So it's terrible. It's outrageous. And it is. The Hamas went in and killed 1,400 Israelis. By the way, nearly half of them were killed by Israeli gunships. But anyway, so they killed 300 or 400 babies. Absolutely appalling, disgusting, and outrageous. So these people are animals. These people are subhuman who did this. Therefore, we will act in a righteous way, says Israel, and we will go and kill 50,000 women and children by dropping bombs on them. Okay, it's not as up close and personal as shooting children 10 feet away. But what's the difference? At the end of the day, you get dead children. So the Hamas are subhuman monsters for killing 500, but the Israelis are righteous and just and democratic for killing 50,000. Do you see this? And he says, oh, they don't do this, you know, more or less saying that the Muslims do it for fun. We only do it for revenge. Really? Like, unbelievable. This guy is a bad egg, man. He's a bad egg. Yep. It's quite incredible. How you doing, Ken? Nice to see you. Yeah, the shooting will only cause the liberal repression effects towards peaceful and effective resistance to the great replacement. Yeah. It's terrible. I've seen Nick Griffin in there. He's surely on speed. I think he is. Nick says the interracial scene is essential when it's aimed at young white men. Can't have them moving from anti-Islamists to genuinely wanting to preserve God's made races of mankind. Of course, I mean this whole thing is a different level of psyop. It's quite incredible. These people will stop at nothing to convince people. And I'll tell you what's really strange. It's also been it's been pushed mercilessly by all the Zionist shells, as we know who they are, Maratozzi, Tommy Robinson, all these guys. But it's also been pushed by these stupid, little, naive, pencil neck, incel clowns who live with their mum. Being pushed mercilessly with them. Because they're stupid. They're idiots. They're morons. They say they hate the Jews. These are people who are obsessed with the Jews. But every single trick the Jews play on them, they swallow it hook, line, and sinker. And Nick Griffin's going to tell you a bit more tomorrow, so I won't spoil the surprise, but he's got some brilliant info on some of the big right-wing talking heads, neo-Nazis, who are involved with this. People that we have said for years, all of these like people, white power, you know, Adolf was right, the Fuhrer, the Third Reich, these guys. We've said for years, don't believe what they are feds. They are working for the opposite side and taking the money from Israel. No, these guys are hardcore neo-Nazis. Me and Nick have been about. We've been about a long time. We've seen it all before. The ones that shout the longest, the ones that do the most straight arm salutes, the ones that shout Sieg Heil, they are the ones who are normally taking the shekel. We have seen it. For 40 years, I've seen it. Nick's seen it for 50 years. We've seen it time and time and time again. And then there'll be a 10-year gap, and then they start again because all the other people are gone then, and a fresh crop of young idiots who will swallow this. And then we try and tell them, and they tell us to go F ourselves and things like that. And many of them now in jail doing 20 plus years in jail. And we tried to warn them. You've been set up. But they won't listen. They won't listen because they're stupid. Yeah, even Eversong says he's also wrong because these three young men throwing their lives away. Absolutely. Good morning, John Kopasaki. How are you? Yes. Ewan says this is not just wrong an account on the innocent victims or in the way in which such misguided attacks are seized upon and exploited by the elites to bolster their own grip and power. Absolutely. There's a guy came to me the other day there. Not joking you. Came to me the other day, he says, that Brendan Tarrant was a great guy, wasn't he? He was one of yous, wasn't he? I says, what? No, he wasn't. That was a shooter in New Zealand who went into a mosque and shot all those women and kids. Do you remember him? Now, that was a real deep state operation because he'd went to Serbia and all the videos he had was all playing Templar music. He'd followed us to Hungary, Serbia. He went down into Kosovo. Exactly what we were doing at the time. Exactly. Now, when he did that and shot all those kids in that mosque in New Zealand, was it 40 he killed or something? I can't remember. Somebody tipped me off from Australia because we've got long tentacles, and the front page of the digital edition of the Australian Times was a big, big story. Exposed us, the next time international, one of the guys goes mad, New Zealand kills a load of Muslim kids. And luckily, I phoned a lawyer up in the middle of the night who immediately sent an official email to the editor saying, this is not true. There is no foundation in it. There is no even the beginning of a rumour to it. These are blatant lies, and we will sue you for every penny you've got. And they dropped the story. Can you imagine if you hadn't seen that? If somebody hadn't tipped us off? Now, the reporter who gave the Australian Times that was a Jewish, surprisingly, a Jewish writer from the Times in London. And we looked into her. And she works for the security services as well. She's a point woman for the security services in the London Times. She gave them that story. I contacted that woman by email. No. On her ex. No. I actually found out an address for her. Wrote to her. Nothing. So that was a huge psyops. So you've got to be very careful with these things because we know we've been about. But these young neo-Nazis who are doing all this and promoting this stuff, they're beyond stupid. They're actually beyond stupid. Now, talking about young neo-Nazis and all the rest of it, let me show you something. Now, sadly, I had this video and it's disappeared, so I can only get it off somebody else's page, and it's a page that it was taken from Paul Golding's page. He's since taken it down, and I don't know why. So, there's a group in this country called White Vanguard. I've no doubt there's some good young men in it. Absolutely no doubt about it. But they are neo-Nazi, Nietzschean, National Socialists, pagans, white power and all the rest of it, all that stuff. Well, I'm an ethno-nationalist. I have no problem with being white. I have no problem with promoting the white race. No problem at all. But it's from a Christian standpoint. But these guys do this, and they turned up at a thing the other day. I think it was Crewe. There's a place in England called Crewe, and there's one of these asylum hotels there, and a load of people turned up to demonstrate, quite rightly so. They don't want these undocumented men in their area. Anyway, this white vanguard, this white power neo-Nazi movement turned up, and the locals shooed them away. And then they come back. So the locals actually had a right go at them. And there was a guy there a few weeks ago at the Britain First March. Paul Golding tried to pull his mask off, and the guy wouldn't do it, but he was acting big and tough and all that. And I can tell by the way people move. I can tell the way a man walks. John Kopasaki's in the room. He'll back me up on this. When you're used to fighting, or you've been in a lot of fights, or you've been around a lot of fighters, because I'm no trained fighter or anything like that. John Kopasaki is. He's a big wrestler. But when you're around people like that, and you've done a bit of it in your own time, you can tell the way a guy moves, the way he carries himself, the way he holds himself, the way he controls himself, just the way he is, if this guy's the real deal, a dangerous man or not a dangerous man. And very seldom are the ones that rant and rave and shout and bawl. They're very seldom the dangerous ones. But there's also another group of people who, especially if they're big, they give it that kind of, they try and emulate what a tough guy looks like. Quiet, calm, calculating. But they too can be balloons. If you really know what you're looking for, if you really understand manhood, men, you can tell that guy's not the real deal. He's a big lump, but he's a balloon. Okay, so this is what happened there. Absolutely, John Kopasaki, absolutely. And there's a few fighters in the room. You can tell. Doesn't matter how big they are. You can tell. You can tell. And that is why in my past, people have built a reputation on tackling really big guys. I'm not a wee guy. I've tackled guys 6'3", big lumps, tackled them, no problem. Easy peasy, some of them. Sadly, I got it wrong once or twice and it was this so good. But anyway, it was a young man then. I could take a good beating. But most of the time, nearly all, 8 out of 10 times, I've went for these big guys and took them down. I finished, done. No fighting them at all. Just acting tough. And there's nothing sharpens the mind than a smack right in the face. That knocks all your ideology out your head. It knocks all your pretense out your head. It knocks all the ego out your head. When you get wrapped in the jaw, you're in a different game then. You're into reality. Reality rings. And then you know where you are. You know what you're about then. So you can tell. But here's this big lump who was bothering Paul Golding. Who needs bothered, to be quite honest with you? He's another one. But this boy was born another week and tried to rip his mask off. So anyway, he's turned up at this nice demo with normal, good people. And they don't want him there. They don't want neo-Nazis there, right? They don't want them. Most British people are Rule Britannia. We don't want nothing to do with Nazis. They used to bomb us. We don't want anything to do with them. Thank you very much. So he turned up again and it all went a bit pear-shaped. Have a look. I hope this is good enough for him. Let's see.
Walking you straight into what? Slap it on, no man, go on, fuck him up! You don't fall in a prick! He's walking you straight into what?
So now, so there's an interesting thing. John Kopasaki said, try not to condone violence, but Paul Golding needs an attitude adjustment. John, what we say in Ireland here, he needs to have some manners put on him. That's what we say here when somebody gets a good thumping. He needs some manners put on him. But that big guy there's an interesting guy. Now, you could mistake his sort of nonchalant, just walking about there as being a real tough guy, total confidence, doesn't need to react because you could flatten him all if you wanted to. That's a load of nonsense. That guy is maybe autistic or something like that. There's something wrong with that guy. He ain't a tough guy. Because your natural reaction, somebody's grabbing your hood and that, you turn around and bang them, you jab them, or you grab somebody and throw them. He's a big lump, big unit. He could have just grabbed one of the guys and threw them and said, listen, back off. But But he never. And he's walking about. So you could confuse that for quiet confidence. No. That's somebody with autism or something. There's something wrong with that guy. There's something wrong with him. But anyway, the locals didn't like him. And what's he wondering about? And all these wee incels are saying, you don't want to get sacked for your job. And oh, grow up. You know, you're going to go and fight head choppers in the streets with axes and knives. You're going to go and fight with these big hairy Muslims in the streets of England with axes and knives like we used to do in Belfast with each other. And you're afraid to take your mask off. I don't think so. Young man. Anyway, so I put that up and had a go at it. And our inbox has been absolutely awash with these young neo-Nazis saying, "Yous are scum, unfollowing you. Used to like your tempers, don't like yous now. Yous are scum." Blah 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 blah. But the common thread is with them all. If you go on their profiles, they're all Hitler fanatics. I mean, fanatics, Hitler fanatics. And I would suggest all of them are young, incel, never seen a woman in their life, groypers. I mean, a lot of them have got the groyper thing, you know, that groyper thing, the frog thing. What grown man's into groyping? I mean, really, what? First time somebody said to me, I don't know if Nick remembers this when we were in the old filming room, the groypers said they're going to attack us, we're going to have a groyper attack. And I was saying to Nick, what's this all about? We're going to get groyped. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a kind of male rape or something. I didn't know what it was. I thought, good grief, groip me. I better get one of them swords at hand in case they bust through the door and groip me. Well, what it means, really, a lot of you older guys won't have a clue either. What groip means is they all do a kind of mass attack and send haughty words on your comment page. Yeah, that's it. That's it. This guy was saying, we're the Groiper army. You never mess with us again, dousing in the Night's Terror. You'll never mess with the Groiper army. Now, it did almost kill me because I laughed that much. My blood pressure went through the roof. I nearly fell off my chair when I found out what it was. These are supposed to be serious people. Now, the next thing they're into is this neo-Nazism, blah, blah, blah. Look, most of these people live with their parents. And one guy was saying to me, I'm not an incel. I says, listen, the only woman you've ever seen in your life or been sitting on a couch with is your mum. And that's the problem with them. And you want to hear the language in them. Griffin's this, Griffin's that. He's an old, I couldn't even repeat some of the stuff. Even worse for me. These are kids, I can guarantee you, if me or Nick were in the same room as them, they'd be quiet as mouse. They wouldn't say a word. They are little, horrible things. Anyway, a lot of people on the right wing have been giving me a lot of pressure the last few days saying, no, we should be friendly with these people. Let me tell you something. Hell will freeze over and old Nick himself will be skating on the ice of hell before I'm ever friendly with these people. They are scum. If they were 14 and 15, I would give them a bye ball and try and educate them because they're only kids. These are boys at 21, 22 and 23. They're grown men, in my opinion. Get out your mother's house, get a bloody job, find a girlfriend and grow up and become a man. Stop this silliness. It's like, look at me, mum and dad. I'm a Nazi now. It's this kind of stuff. If I come in and told, listen, I'll tell you a story. Happened to me when I was a young boy because I didn't know any better. When you're 16 and 17, I was 15 actually. You don't know any better. You're stupid, didn't you? Anyway, a guy gave me a tape. A mate of mine was called Jordan Newell. And he was in the KKK. I never knew what the KKK was. He was some kind of serpent or something. I don't know. It's all bizarre to me. Anyway, he said to me, there's a good tape for you, Jimmy. I said, thanks very much, because I was selling the National Front paper, and that's why he thought I was a Nazi, which is understandable. But anyway, he gave me this tape. Remember the old tapes? I put it in my recorder thing in my bedroom. It was a wee tiny house we lived in, a wee poor house. And I like music because I was in the bands. And it was all this boom, boom. So that German Nazi music. I didn't know it was Nazi music. I just, it's good. That's a good beat. I like this. And it was all, what do you call it? Horse Vessel lead and all that. I was thoroughly enjoying it. I was in my room like that. Boom! The door bursts open. And my father, old Jimmy, God rest him, come charging into the room. He says, what the hell? He said, I can't believe a son of mine. And he grabbed the tape machine, ripped the lid off it, got the tape out, and was pulling the tape out. But there's millions in there. My dad was pulling it. I thought, he's went mad. He says, come here, you. And he grabbed me by the throat, dragged me through the house. My mum said, what's going on? He says, you mind's a businesswoman. I need to show this boy something. He dragged me out the door, opened the back door, and he says, right, stand there, put your hand, and we'd railings, iron railings coming out of our back steps, getting into the garden. He says, put your hand there. And then he put his hand on top of it and clamped it there. He says, I stood here In 1941, with every single neighbour in this whole district, all the houses, we lived in the projects, everybody was outside singing Abide With Me and Nearer My God to Thee. It's wave after wave after wave of Luftwaffe bombers were flying above our house because we lived in a valley, flying above our house, going over to Glasgow, to Clydebank to drop bombs. Over 1,000 people died that night. And they stood there for hours while the bombers, wave after wave of them, went over our house and dropped the bombs. And in the distance, they could just see the great fireball. And then about an hour later, the debris started actually falling on our house because the debris went up that high. Then it started falling down on us. We're 30 miles away. And he says, we stood there and watched those people. And the next day, the refugees turned up. And our people had no money. But what could they do? They couldn't refuse them. And my family took a man in who'd lost his wife, and 6 children, all of his children, 6 children and his wife bombed to death by the Nazis. And he said, and you are in that room, in this house, in this street, playing Nazi music. Now, my dad had been living in that house, well, next door. He'd actually lived during the war there, but he was in this house in Bankford with his friend. He says, this is a house where that man who lost his wife and his 6 kids frequented, and you're in here playing Nazi music. He says, never, ever let me catch you playing that again. So I have a pathological hatred. And I've got to be honest with you. I know you maybe shouldn't, and maybe something I need to work on. Maybe. I have an absolutely pathological hatred for British neo-Nazis. That's it. And people keep saying to me, Jim, we need to work with them. We need to work with them. I'll never work with them. I will never work with them. And if there's a war on right now, the civil war breaks out, I'll be going for them first before I go for the Muslims. You need to clean up your own trench before you start moving forward to the enemy's trench, because the enemy in your own trench is far more dangerous. I utterly loathe, despise, and detest these type of people, especially these young, stupid, would-be tough nuts who could not pull the skin off a rice pudding. And I would tackle any one of them. I'm 61 years of age, and I would fight any one of them. There you go. Man to man, toe to toe. Any one of them, I'd take them on. Can't be doing with these people. Can't stand them. But we're getting a lot of hassle. We're getting a lot of hassle for them. But anyway, we don't care, because what are they going to do? Groip us? So there we go. Is anybody else thinking July the 4th will be interesting? I'm not sure what you mean by that. EV Brown, Keegan, personally, I'm cheering for Team USA to win over Team Britain. Who's Team Britain? Sir Keegan Rushmore, what are you talking about? What's this talking about here? USA over Team Britain. I don't know what that is. Anyway, the majority of these using pseudonyms doing that because they want to hide, not because of legitimate reasons. It's because they're cowards. Absolutely. Big and kind of extreme. I know, it's crazy. Exactly. There you go. You once quoting our book again. They like to talk big and extreme, but they're not willing to take responsibility for what they have to say. Absolutely. Page 166. Yes, absolutely. We've wrote books on these things, so you know. Did he say frog or dog? I don't know. That is why we as Templars use our real names and do not hide. Absolutely. Nerds. They're nerds. Weirdos, jokers. They have many in their corner. Well, we only have one. I need one. 100%. We only need one. The Lord Jesus Christ. And I've told them, why are you following Adolf Hitler? A nation of shopkeepers beat him. What are you talking about? Listen, I know it's tough now, but when we raise up the blood-red banner of Jesus Christ and the holy martyrs, there's nothing on earth can stand in our way because we have Christ before us. We will sweep all aside. We will drive the heathen into the oceans, or we will wade knee deep in their blood. That's a fact. What do you need National Socialism for? You don't need it. We have the Lord Jesus and an army of angels behind us. We need nothing of Nietzsche or Adolf Hitler or anybody else. Ridiculous. Ewan says there's no any attention to that. They know we don't support Israel or Zionism, hence we do not work with the deep state. Absolutely. I'm proud of my God, my country, my family, and my order. Amen. Gibson's far greater than they'll ever be. I know. Well, they don't like Nick at all. Dear me. But they're idiots. All over Facebook, and I'm on all the streets preaching truth and justice and downtrodden and sort of shunned and hated, marginalised. I hate nothing and always myself. Absolutely. Andy like me, absolutely. Well done, Andy. John Kopasaki, the faith and courage of conviction is far more important, 100%. CV's passing parabellum t-shirt. Very good. I get that. That's a great t-shirt. Oh, talk about t-shirts. Wait a minute. Nearly, I thought I showed you some. Look at my new one. You seen my blue one last week? Straight white prod pride. Well, that got a bit of a thingy. But look at this one now. Check this out. So like that, folks. There we go. Thank a straight person for your existence. Straight pride. Straight pride. I won the t-shirt the other day into a pub that's frequented by gays, and the guy says, "What are you wearing that for?" I says, "Pride Month, isn't it?" The guy said, "Yeah, but gay pride." I said, No, it's Pride Month. It says Pride Month. It doesn't say gay pride. It says Pride Month. So I'm celebrating straight pride. That's it. I'm used to being Nazis that were screwdrivers. Oh dear. Oh, I know them. Nick Giffen. Oh, Team England. All right. Right. Aye. Okay. So Keegan Rushmore. Britain. England isn't Britain. Britain is Scotland, England, and Wales. The UK is Scotland, England, and Wales, and Northern Ireland. So there's no Team Britain. The English aren't Britain. The English are the English. And America's played the English. I'm probably going to go out on a limb here and say, Sammy, did you know that England, I think so. I don't even know. I don't watch it. I think, according to Keegan Rushmore, America is playing England at the World Cup. He said Britain, but they're not playing Britain. So who is supporting? Sammy says America right off the bat. I am going to remain tight-lipped. USA, USA. Come on, the Yanks. Get into the English there, boys. Come on. The Scotland's been knocked out, so get in there. Sorry, my English friends, but I'm a jock and easy, you know that. So, Marion, who are you supporting? England or America? Marion says anybody apart from England. Oh, dear me. The hate in this office. This is a hate fest in this office. You see, people think, oh, you are all against the Muslims. Listen, we're against it. Well, us in here anyway. We're against the English. We're against the French. We're against the Belgians. Especially against the Belgians. You know any Belgians? Oh, they're a funny lot, you know. But no, I mean, a lot is good-natured banter. But, aye, crazy stuff. So there we go. John Ventry says, spent the weekend in D.C., saw Trump, Toulouse, Cruz, Cormac, others persons at the Faith and Freedom event. They are Christian nationalists. Who's this? Who's Christian nationalists? Oh, very good. Excellent. Faith and Freedom. Well, I'd like to see their actual manifesto on what a Christian nationalist is, because I guarantee you there's a Judeo-Christian nationalism thrown in there somewhere. Christ critiqued religious hypocrisy, wealth, idolatry, repentance, faith, and personal transformation, not 5-year plans for racial purity laws. Absolutely. Yeah, Keegan Rushmore. Yeah, true, Ivan. Cannot count the times communists try to do that. Absolutely. John Ventry said here, headed to Central Europe for 10 days tour with the wife. Oh, definitely this weekend, Central Europe. Where are you going? You're going to Hungary? Because you could meet some of your guys there if you're out there. This dog's standing in my coat. What are you doing? Yeah, Nick Griffin says, and quite rightly so, Britain is the place the English taxes are spent. And it's true. It's very unfair to the English. You know, in this country, we get free medicine in Northern Ireland. We get free medicine in Wales. We get free medicine in Scotland. But the English don't. They have to pay for their medicine. But they're not only paying for their medicine, they're paying for the medicine of the Scots, the Ulster people, and the Welsh people. And that's not fair. So I'm very sympathetic on that front. The English are getting taken for a ride. They really are. England just needs to say, stand your own 2 feet. And I would agree with that 100%. 100%. So if they both win their next games, they play each other. I see what you mean. Right. Okay, that'd be good. Dog has photobombed. That dog's always doing it. Do you know, it's quite funny. A couple of weeks ago, I was doing a really serious rant, and I never knew she was behind me. And I put it up, everybody's contact me saying, oh, Jim, we can't take you seriously because the dog just popped its head up and sort of looked about and then popped its head down again. Didn't even know she was there. Spoiled my whole thing. Anyway, your lapels are moving. Dame Holly trying to make an appearance. What are you doing, dog? Where are you go? Where are you? Come on, up you come. See the people. There she is. She's the best dog this side of the Mississippi. And you're always photobombing me and stealing my limelight. I know, big dog. But she's a female. That's what they do, isn't it? But she's the best dog this chapter house has ever had. She's a faithful wee dog. And there's not been a mouse in here since we've had her. Yeah, good girl, ain't you? There you go. No, you can eat it. So there we are. I'm going to Hungry if you can text me some film. Absolutely, yeah. Have a half a day free. Yeah, we'll try and put in touch with some of our lads there. Jesus was a Jew and was proud that he'd finished their cause. Absolutely. So let me we're moving it. I need to hurry up here because I'm a bit late. So yesterday was terrible news, people. A mosque in Dublin was petrol bombed. Now you may think, oh, the Irish are getting act together. No. It was an immigrant shouting, we don't want any more immigrants in this damn country. I don't know. I know. I don't know what's happening. Ireland is a strange place, but some immigrant went mental, obviously not a Muslim one, went mental and firebombed the mosque. Have a look. I mean, it's just bonkers, isn't it? It's completely mad. So, some foreigner decides to go to Dublin and then to firebomb a mosque. I'm sure he could have found one in his own country and gave us a bit of peace. It's just, there's too much in it. There's too much in it. What's that there? Now, the other day in Dublin, it was very good. I mean, who would have thought we'd see the day when thousands and thousands of Irish people are on the streets shouting Sinn Féin traitors? You remember the Civil War history and the great, everybody was Sinn Féin, the Irish were big heroes and da-da-da. And the Civil War, the big war with England, the War of Independence, then the Civil War, then the fight with us up north. And Sinn Féin could do no wrong. They could do no wrong. But now the people are on the street shouting Sinn Féin traitors. And I would suggest to our American friends, anytime you see these idiots putting things up, saying, oh, the IRA need to deal with immigrants, remind them the IRA are the ones bringing the immigrants in. But here's a lovely scene. Wonderful scene. God bless the Irish. Have a look at this. Brilliant, eh? And a lot of those flags emanated from these parts. But well done, lads. Well done, the Irish. Sinn Féin are indeed traitors. Well, we had Mad Dog Holly, she is. We had a thing this week in Northern Ireland that our leader, the leader of the Unionists, the leader of my people, a guy called Jeffrey Donaldson, who was a pious Christian, one of these, I don't speak to Jim Dowson. Jim Dowson's too wild. Oh yes, and he drinks whiskey and he smokes a pipe. John Kopasaki's. This is the way he was. Real po-faced, sanctimonious guy. Anyway, he's just been convicted of kiddie fiddling. We don't know if it was his daughter or niece or something, but this is wee children. And then it's come out in London, he was going to gay saunas and had a male lover. This is a mad born-again so-called Christian. It's a massive case here. It's a big thing here. But here's the thing, folks. Through our extensive contacts, I was told in May 2007, that's 19 years ago, my friends. 19 years ago, I went to the Parliament, had a meeting with the party, his party, and I told them what he was doing. Now, I didn't know about the kiddie stuff, but I knew about the gay guys, I knew about the gay saunas, and I told them, this guy is a fraud. He's pretending to be a born-again Christian. He's high up in the militia. He's the leader of our party, and I think he was the deputy leader of this country. I said, this guy's dirty. He's going to filthy, low-grade, homosexual knocking shops, and he's got a lover, and da-da-da, and they showed me the door. They said, get out. It's 19 years ago, I blew the whistle on that guy through our contacts. Now it's come out that, this was all going on. Absolute scum of the earth. Scum of the earth. But there we go. So, there you go. Donaldson made to Priory House. Donation made. Oh, thank you. I thought you said Donaldson. That's the guy's name. The guy who done this was Jeffrey Donaldson. Anyway, just in case Brother Tom comes in because he loves these. Here's an accordion band. Have you seen many of them? They're very popular here. My next door neighbour and all the daughters are in the accordion band. My mother wanted me to learn the accordion, and I wish I would have, because an accordion's a one-man party. It's a one-man band, isn't it? But I never. But here's a master accordion band just the other week. Fantastic. Have a wee look. So isn't that wonderful, eh? Isn't that wonderful? About 100 odd accordion players. Wonderful, playing hymns and everything. Fantastic, fantastic indeed. There's a triple book link there. If any of you don't have the triple book, get them, because they're very important. And a wee drop of the tatties and mash at the end there. Yes. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with a wonderful one of my favourites. And I remember once years ago saying to my wife at my funeral, I want this played. She went, we can't play that around here because it's a very Catholic thing. But I don't care. I'll have this at my funeral. I'm telling you that. I hope it's not for a while. But funny enough, the doctor was on it the other day. The doctor never phoned me in her life. Says, oh, we're looking at your cholesterol. Now, do you know anything about cholesterol? Because I don't know an awful lot about it. My cholesterol's 5.2. I don't exercise. I smoke a pipe, blah, blah, blah. 5.2. And they say, no, we need to put you on statins. I says, really? Well, one of the things that my specialist told me when I did this brain diagnosis was you cannot take statins or aspirin. That's what he told me. I says, put me on statins. I'm not allowed statins or any blood thinners because my brain bleeds. Oh, I mean, they could have killed me. I mean, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with your medical profession these days? They're absolutely dopey. Unbelievable. So there you go. So, yes, I'm going to leave you now with a wonderful hymn. Beautiful hymn, Marion. Do you like this hymn? Ave Maria. Beautiful. Beautiful hymn. And it's sung by a beautiful singer. And it's just stunning set and stunning. It's one of my favourite. It's the Schubert version because there's a couple of versions of Ave Maria. So this is the Schubert version. So I hope you all like it. Tune in tomorrow. Nick's got a cracking show for you. And he'll go into the details of what's going on here because a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to leave you with this. So Mario Lanza was good. Mario Lanza was very good at it. He was good. Well, I'm going to leave you with this. So join Nick tomorrow if the good Lord preserves you and preserves him, of course. But until then, remember, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Do his fault.
Van Frans Schubert, het Ave Maria. En ze zinken werkelijk wie een engel. Geef er een enorm applaus uit Australië, Marussia.